What is going on, people from the tube? Welcome back to another Pancho things. So decisions were made. I had somebody that commented on the last video where I was asking for help on what direction to go as far as painting the boat in the bottom, and things has changed. So that we're going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to talk about the products that I'm going to be using. We're going to be talking about the stencils that I'm going to be using, and we're also going to talk about the color scheme, and I need help with pretty much all of that. So that person comment, thank you so very much for commenting, because I already was heading into one direction, and your comment made me go a little bit deeper into research of certain key points that you talked in there. One of them was the fact that so marine grade paint, bottom paint, we're talking about bottom paint, and the reason being is initially I was going to paint only the bottom of the boat first and then the rest, but the bottom of the boat was going to be or either a marine paint, and at one point I had the option of the bed liner, and I wasn't really leaning towards the bed liner anyway. But what he mentioned is what a lot of people have said, is the fact that the bed liner, for the most part, does it bring protection to the bottom of the boat? Yes. Does it peel off and come undone and then you gotta reapply it? 100%. So the problem was that I don't want to be going through that process of having to peel paint. You know, is a lot, and it's an investment. It's not cheap, and having to apply or reapply. One of the things is, once you apply, if a part peeled off, it will keep coming and will keep peeling off. And if you need to reapply, you gotta pretty much scrape the whole thing out and then reapply. That's a lot of time. That's a lot of time and money. So I was like, nah, that's not gonna work. And after this person commented, that kind of finished to solidify the fact that, yeah, that's not the route that I want to go. The other thing that this person commented on the video, and I apologize with that I can't remember the name. I'm gonna try to put it under here or something. But one of the things that for me was also important was that he mentioned marine grade paint does have a couple of advantages. Now, one of them is that increase the performance of the boat in the water. Meaning, because the paint is so slick, it will make the boat not go faster, but it will cut through water way better. Now, I'm on a jumbo, and he brought a couple of points that are super important. One, I'm not going to be going to a speed where I'm going to be noticing difference in between the slick surface or not. Two, my boat is not sitting on the water. So my boat is not on a dock, it's not sitting on a port or anything like that. So that paint, one of the major advantages of the paint is actually protecting the bottom of the boat from getting barnacles, getting grasses, getting bacterials and stuff like that. And I'm not going to be exposed to that. The boat is going to be wet while it's in use or either fishing or hunting, but it's not going to be 24/7 on water, if that makes any sense. So that being said, the reason why I wanted to start with the bottom of the boat is because I wanted to figure out a way to add an extra layer of protection to the boat in the bottom. And this person, once again, hitting the nail right in the spot, he says, regardless of what you do, you're gonna hit things. You're in a jumbo, so you're going to be hitting things. Now, luckily for you, you're not going to be going to greater speeds. The engine that I'm going to be running on that boat, besides the trailing motor, is tops a 15 horsepower engine. So you're not going to be reaching crazy speeds where if you hit something so hard that is going to cause an insane amount of damage, you know. Now, you're going to get dings and scrapes and scratches. Yes, it's a jumbo, and it's going to be used for fishing and hunting. So clearly that's going to happen. That's unavoidable. But unless that you're like not paying attention, the wear and tear that you're going to put in the boat is not high enough to justify an structural change on the boat, if that makes any sense. So what I decided is, since I'm going to be painting the boat, and there's going to be areas where I need to sand, and there's going to be to prep the areas that I'm going to paint. Now, I still going to paint, and depending on what's happening, the weather is going to be weird. So depending on what's happening and how much time do I have, if I can paint the entire boat, that's great, because that will only leave me with the camo job, which we're going to talk about that in a second. But the base of the boat is going to be painted. But if that is not possible because of the rain or because of whatever, I'm going to be painting the bottom of the boat, which is not going to have any camo or anything like that. It's just the bare paint, and then the rest of the boat. But since I'm going to be sanding and I'm going to be prepping the bottom of the boat, I came with this idea with like, well, why don't I go and put something on the rivets that are going to be underwater to give it a little extra love. I found this product right here. This is a waterproof epoxy sealer. So what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna put every rivet that is under the boat, inside of the boat and under the boat, that is gonna be underwater. I'm gonna touch it with this epoxy. The reason being is I don't have any leaks in my boat. The boat is not leaking, nothing like that. The boat is just fine. But since I'm gonna prep it and I'm gonna have to get in there, I might as well just put a layer of this, which is not causing any issues. So that is something. Yeah, it's gonna be an extra money, an extra time for something that structurally doesn't necessarily is gonna make it stronger, but it's kind of like a peace of mind. Since I'm gonna be fishing, I'm gonna be hunting, I'm gonna be traveling with this boat quite a bit. It's just giving me that extra peace of mind that if there was one of those rivets that might have a little bit of a chance of leaking, I'm extending the process of decay in that way it doesn't happen when I'm in the middle of summer. Now, if something strong happened where I hit something big and it opens a hole in the hull of the boat or in the bottom of the boat, at that point it don't matter. But this is just an extra precaution, just in case. That product is going to be doing that. And as part of the paint, there was 2 or 3 different paints that I was looking at. And unfortunately, the most expensive paint is not too compatible with the epoxy. So I end up having to go with a different paint that plays really well with epoxy. It has no issues. There's no problems there. So this is the paint that I'm going to be using. This is the brand. Now, since I'm going to be using one paint that is going to be for the entire boat, and this is a paint that is designed for aluminum boats. So here is where things get really crazy, and once again, I need your help. One is it legal? I haven't been able to find something that says yes or no. Is it legal to change the color of a boat that is not the color that is on the registration? The reason why I'm asking that is because the boat is logically green and that's the color that is on the registration. But if I'm going to change it and paint in this case camo, will changing drastically the color, not necessarily the pattern of the camo, because camo is already changing a lot, but changing the whole palette of colors, will that have any legal repercussions? Comment down below for yes or for no, because I'm not 100% sure. I've been doing a little bit of research and I can't find a definite answer for yes or for no. They talk about the numbers of the boat, of the registration that needs to be disclosed in the boat. They talk about that quite a bit, but nobody's saying if that is legality-wise, if that's the only thing that you need. So comment down below if you know the answer for that. So if it is legal, then we have another issue to come is there's going to be areas where I'm going to be hunting that is going to be tulies, another area is going to be cattails, and another area is going to be submerged grasses, another areas might be full on open marsh. Another area might be flooded timber. There's not such a thing that a one camo paint that is gonna be 100% for all of them. But I can try to find a palette that kind of like it's in the middle where it can be beneficial in all of these areas. Reason being is I'm gonna build up a blind. I can always stand the length of the blind, not necessarily like the construction of the blind, but like the cover of the blind. I can always extend it enough to cover a little bit of the paint if it's too the contrast is completely out of whack versus what the cover is. I can always do that, but I can also find something that is kind of like in the middle that doesn't necessarily need to worrying about thing now and extending the entire blind can be costly because there's going to be some of those fake grasses. There's going to be a lot of other things that can be really costly in the long run. So that's why camoing the boat was the best option for me because it's a one and done type of situation. But now we're encountering that the color scheme might not be the perfect color scheme for every single situation, but we can try to find something in the middle. So if it's legal to change the color of the boat, then we have quite a few options there. If not, the base paint for the boat is going to have to be green, and then we build up lighter textures and lighter color from there. So what am I meaning? These are the patterns that I've been looking at for the cap. So let me know what you think about these three patterns. I'm only looking at these three. What did you think? Which one of these three will you go with? And which one of these three, if we need to stick to green as a bottom color, which one of these three will give us the best coverage for lighter colors versus besides the green versus a light color like tan as the base and build up from there. So comment down below once again if you have a particular one of these three stencils bring like is something that you will rather choose more than the other one. Let me know and we'll go with that. As far as the paint color, unfortunately, as I mentioned before, we had some of the weather going. I haven't been able to find either the paint or the epoxy anywhere near. So I'm gonna go and check on another place tomorrow. If I found it, I'm gonna buy light base color and the green base color. If nobody has replied, whatever I use, and whatever I don't use, I can always return. But it's one of those situations where, like, I don't know, worst case scenario, I have to order it and have it delivered to the house. So that's pretty much where we are. People that have dropped some comments in there, thank you so very much. We're a step closer to start this whole craziness, but it's just been really chaotic because I had to do a lot of research, a lot of reading as some of the chemical composition of these paints, epoxies, and aluminum is not. Sometimes they don't match. One of the things that I was reading, and one of the major reasons that I went with this color, with this brand of paint, is because of the primer. I got to a point when I started doing my cost sheet about one of the paints. It got really high really quickly because we had to add a primer, and the process of applying the primer and then versus the paint, and on top of that, after the paint is applied and it's all said and done and cured, now I had to come back and heat it with the stencil. So it's literally 3 to 4 different paints that I had to put to get to the same result as this paint that pretty much has kind of like the primer is kind of built into it. So I don't have to go too crazy. Now, when it comes to the aluminum, if you guys know, and if you don't know, here's a teachable moment. Aluminum, after you sand it and prep aluminum, you gotta paint it because corrosion pretty much begins immediately. So you wanna you don't wanna have that aluminum, that metal exposed for a prolonged period of time, because as I mentioned before, corrosion will start kicking in pretty much immediately. So this is a job where I need to sand. That's why I'm not gonna sand the entire bottom unless that is like 100% guaranteed that there's not gonna be rain, there's not gonna be nothing crazy winds or anything like that. And then I sand the whole thing, and then I paint the whole thing in one day. In that way, I don't have to struggle with the issue of corrosion, because that will be worse. That is not the case. Then I sand the bottom, paint the bottom first, and then we tackle the rest in another time. So comment down below, and I will pretty much appreciate all your help. But I already started getting brushes, rollers, all the stuff, trying to figure out which one is gonna work better. And within the end of this weekend or the beginning of next week, should be already sanding and painting. So that's step number one. Then we're gonna do, logically, the stencil is part of the whole painting situation, and then we're gonna try to do a little bit of a floor, which I have a couple of ideas that I'm gonna bounce with you when the time comes. But there's a couple of ideas of floor versus no floor, and if the floor is a couple of different perspective when it comes to the floor that can be used and can be done. So I want to hear your two guys' 2 cents. Thank you so very much for the support and watching the videos. One of the other things that I wanted to tell you guys is, as I mentioned before, Pancho that I make my own merch. I have t-shirts in there. I got a sticker. I have an ammo bag, and there's a couple more t-shirts that are coming for fishing season, and also a t-shirt that is coming for the hunting tour. If you don't know what I'm talking about, the hunting tour, go to this video and watch it. I explain it all in there. In short, this next hunting season, I'm gonna be going to different states and hunt not only duck, but deer or whatever is open in those states. We're gonna go for it. But it's not just me going to hunt. I'm trying to meet the most amount of you as possible and learn from you guys how you hunt in your state, why and how you guys do it, and have a great time. But more importantly, get to know you guys and get to spend some time. So that is happening. So I'm gonna be designing a t-shirt that literally 100% of that proceed is gonna be going straight to those trips. It's gonna be straight to gearing up for that season. So any support is greatly appreciated. Once again, all of that is going to be under panchothings.com. You guys can go there and snatch a sticker, an ammo bag, a t-shirt, whatever the case might be. I will highly appreciate it. That being said, thank you so very much for watching. Like, share, subscribe, click the notification bell so you can be notified every time that I upload a new video. And next time that you see me, we're going to be sanding and painting. Pancho.